The lies are unraveling. And no one's walking away without scars. The next few days felt like walking a tightrope without a safety net. Every interaction, whether with Michael, Tina, or even Fatima, left Anna teetering on the edge of exposure. She was careful to maintain her facade, smiling when expected, laughing at jokes, but inside, she was unraveling thread by thread. Michael, sensing something amiss despite her efforts to mask it, became increasingly persistent. One evening, as they prepared dinner together, he finally confronted her directly. "Anna," he said, his tone firm yet gentle, "I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it clearly isn't." Her hands froze mid-chop, the knife hovering above a carrot. "What do you mean?" "I mean," he replied, turning off the stove and facing her fully, "that I see you slipping away, and I don't know how to stop it." His words hit her like a punch to the gut. Slipping away. Was that what she was doing? Or had she already fallen too far to climb back? "Michael," she began, her voice cracking. "I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening to me." He stepped closer, taking her trembling hands in his. "Then tell me. Whatever it is, we'll work through it together. But you have to let me in." Tears welled in her eyes, guilt choking her throat. How could she explain the unexplainable? How could she confess to feelings she barely understood herself? Instead, she shook her head, pulling away. "I can't." His expression hardened slightly, frustration mingling with hurt. "Why not? Do you think I won't understand? Or is it something worse?" Her heart sank at the accusation in his voice. Worse. Yes, it was worse, but not in the way he imagined. Still, she couldn't bring herself to answer, retreating instead into silence. Later that night, unable to sleep, Anna texted Fatima impulsively. "Can we talk?" Fatima responded almost immediately. "Of course. Where are you?" Minutes later, Fatima arrived at Anna's apartment, carrying a tub of ice cream and 2 spoons. "Emergency supplies," she announced, setting them on the coffee table. "Now spill." Anna hesitated, clutching a throw pillow tightly. "I messed up, Fatima. Big time." Fatima raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued. "Define messed up." Anna took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she was about to say. Or rather, what she couldn't say outright. "It's complicated. There's someone who shouldn't be in my life the way they are." Fatima frowned, processing this revelation. "Someone? As in?" "No," Anna interjected quickly, anticipating her next question. "Not Michael. Someone else. Someone close to Tina." Fatima's eyes widened in shock. "Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying?" Anna nodded miserably, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't mean for it to happen. Just did. And now I don't know how to fix it." Fatima sat back, stunned. For a moment she said nothing, letting the weight of Anna's confession sink in. Finally she exhaled sharply. "Wow, babe. That's a lot." "I know," Anna whispered, hugging her knees to her chest. "And I hate myself for it." Fatima placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You don't hate yourself, you're human. Humans make mistakes. What matters is what you do next." "What can I do?" Anna asked desperately. "If I tell Tina, I'll lose her forever. If I don't, I'll lose myself. Either way, I'm screwed." Fatima sighed, running a hand through her hair. "There's no easy answer here. But one thing's for sure. You can't keep living like this. Secrets only fester." Her words struck a chord, resonating with Anna's own fears. Yet the thought of coming clean to anyone felt paralyzing. How could she untangle this web without destroying everything? Meanwhile, Tina's suspicions reached a boiling point during a girls' lunch the following day. She cornered Anna in the restroom, her usual cheerfulness replaced by uncharacteristic seriousness. "Okay, spill. What's going on with you?" Caught off guard, Anna froze, her mind racing for an excuse. "What do you mean?" "You've been avoiding me," Tina accused, crossing her arms. "And don't deny it. I've seen the way you look at your phone whenever it buzzes. Who are you texting? Panic surged through Anna, her pulse pounding in her ears. No one. I swear it's just work stuff. Tina narrowed her eyes, clearly unconvinced. Don't lie to me, Anna. You're my best friend. Whatever it is, you can trust me. Her sincerity brought fresh tears to Anna's eyes, guilt twisting her insides. Trust her. How could she, when every word felt like a betrayal? I'm sorry, Anna murmured, looking away. I just need some time to figure things out. Tina softened slightly, placing a hand on her arm. All right, take your time. But don't shut me out, okay? Anna nodded, swallowing hard. Okay. As they rejoined the group, Anna forced herself to smile, pretending everything was fine. But inside, she felt like she was drowning, each breath shallower than the last. That evening, James sent another text. Are you okay? You seemed upset earlier. Anna stared at the message, torn between anger and longing. Why couldn't he leave her alone? Didn't he realize how much harder he was making everything? Finally, she typed a reply. I'm fine. Stop asking. His response came quickly. I can't. Not when I know something's wrong. Her resolve wavered, tears blurring her vision. Maybe he cared. Maybe he understood. But caring didn't change the fact that their connection was toxic, a poison spreading through her veins until she didn't recognize herself anymore. As she lay in bed that night, Anna realized something painful. The longer she avoided confronting her feelings, the tighter the noose around her neck became. Sooner or later she'd have to choose, and whatever decision she made, it would cost her dearly. The days that followed felt like walking through quicksand, each step heavier than the last, pulling Anna deeper into a pit of guilt and confusion. She tried to distract herself with work, household chores, anything to keep her mind occupied, but it was no use. Every moment of stillness brought the storm rushing back, louder and more insistent than ever. Fatima, sensing Anna's distress, decided to intervene again. You need a break, she announced one afternoon, barging into Anna's office unannounced. Lunch. Now. Anna groaned, rubbing her temples. I can't, Fatima. I'm swamped. Swamped or avoiding. Fatima countered, hands on her hips. Come on, you're coming with me, even if I have to drag you out by your hair. Reluctantly, Anna relented, grabbing her bag and following Fatima to a nearby cafe. The change of scenery was welcome, though temporary. As they sipped lattes and nibbled on pastries, Fatima broached the subject Anna had been dreading. So, she said casually, twirling her spoon in her coffee, how's Operation Untangle going? Anna choked on her sip of latte, coughing violently. Operation what? You know, Fatima replied with a mischievous grin. Your whole, I messed up big time situation. Have you figured out what to do yet? Anna sighed, setting down her cup. No, and honestly, I don't think I ever will. Fatima frowned, clearly dissatisfied with her response. That's not an option. You can't just sit around waiting for things to magically fix themselves. I'm not sitting around. Anna snapped, frustration bubbling to the surface. I'm trying, okay? But every choice feels impossible. If I tell Tina, I lose her forever. If I don't, I lose myself. Either way, someone gets hurt. Her outburst drew curious glances from nearby patrons, but Fatima remained unfazed, leaning closer across the table. Look, I get it. This is messy. But staying silent isn't helping anyone. Not you, not Tina, not even whoever this guy is. Anna flinched at the mention of James, guilt twisting her stomach into knots. It's not that simple. Yes, it is, Fatima insisted firmly. You either face the music or let it play on repeat until it drives you crazy. Trust me, I've been there. Her words struck a chord, resonating with Anna's own fears. Could she really keep living like this, trapped in a cycle of secrecy and self-destruction? Meanwhile, Michael's patience reached its limit. One evening, as Anna retreated to the bedroom claiming exhaustion, He followed her, determination etched on his face. "We need to talk." Anna froze, dread pooling in her stomach. "About what?" "Us," he replied simply, sitting beside her on the bed. "Whatever's been tearing us apart lately. Because I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it's clearly not." His sincerity broke her heart a little more. "Michael, No," he interrupted, his tone firm. "You don't get to shut me out anymore. Not without an explanation." Tears welled in her eyes, guilt choking her throat. How could she explain the unexplainable? How could she admit to emotions she didn't fully comprehend? Instead, she shook her head, pulling away. "I can't." His expression hardened slightly, frustration mingling with hurt. "Why are you holding back? Is it because you think I won't get it, or is there something bigger at play?" Her heart sank at the accusation in his voice. Bigger. Yes, it was bigger, but not in the way he imagined. Still, she couldn't bring herself to answer, retreating instead into silence. Later that night, unable to sleep, Anna texted James impulsively. "We need to stop." His response came almost instantly. "What do you mean?" "This. Whatever it is. It has to end." There was a long pause before he replied. "Are you sure?" "Yes." Her fingers trembled as she typed the word, tears blurring her vision. "I can't keep doing this to everyone, including myself." Another pause then. "If that's what you want." But Anna knew it wasn't what she wanted. At least, not entirely. Part of her clung to the connection they shared, however toxic it might be. Yet another part, a stronger, saner part, knew it was the only way to protect the people she loved. The next day, Tina called unexpectedly, her tone unusually serious. "Hey bestie, can we meet up? There's something I need to talk to you about." Anna's stomach dropped, panic surging through her veins. Had Tina found out? Was this the confrontation she'd been dreading? "Sure," she replied weakly, her voice trembling. "When?" "Now," Tina said firmly. "I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. As Anna waited outside her apartment, her mind raced with worst-case scenarios. What would she say if Tina confronted her? How could she possibly explain herself? When Tina arrived, her expression was unreadable. "All right," she said, parking the car and turning to face Anna. "Spill. What's going on?" Caught off guard, Anna hesitated, scrambling for an excuse. "What do you mean?" Tina narrowed her eyes, clearly unconvinced. "Don't play dumb. You've been distant, distracted, and frankly acting weird. Is it Michael? Work? Or is it?" She trailed off, leaving the question hanging in the air. Anna's pulse pounded in her ears, guilt twisting her insides. Could she really lie her way out of this? "It's nothing," she murmured finally, avoiding Tina's gaze. "Just stress." Tina studied her for a moment longer, skepticism lingering in her eyes. "All right, now. But don't think I'm letting this go." As they drove back to Anna's apartment, she realized something painful. The truth was inevitable. Sooner or later it would come out, and when it did, nothing would ever be the same. The days following Anna's attempts to distance herself from James felt like treading water in an endless ocean. No matter how hard she tried to stay afloat, the weight of her secrets threatened to pull her under. Every interaction, whether with Michael, Tina, or even Fatima, felt like walking on eggshells, one misstep away from disaster. At work, Fatima cornered her during lunch, her usual bubbly demeanor replaced by uncharacteristic seriousness. "You're spiraling," she said bluntly, steering Anna toward a quiet cafe. "And if you don't get it together soon, someone's going to notice." Anna hesitated, clutching her coffee cup tightly. "I know, okay? No. But what am I supposed to do? Confess everything and watch my life fall apart?" Fatima sighed, leaning closer across the table. "Confession isn't the enemy, Anna. Secrets are. You can't keep carrying this burden alone. It's eating you alive." Her words struck a chord, resonating with Anna's own fears. "Secrets? The word echoed in her mind, sharp and unforgiving. How much longer could she keep hiding behind them? That evening, Michael surprised Anna with tickets to a comedy show, a last-ditch effort to salvage their relationship. "Thought we could use some laughs," he said warmly, handing her the envelope. "No pressure, just us having fun." Anna stared at the tickets, tears welling in her eyes. His kindness broke her heart a little more. She squeezed his hand, blinking back tears. "Thank you." Yet as she tucked the tickets into her bag, she realized something painful. Gratitude wasn't the same as love. And while Michael deserved someone who could give him her whole heart, Anna wasn't sure she had one left to give. Later, while she was lying in bed and staring blankly at the ceiling, Anna realized something painful. Every step forward felt like 2 steps back, as though the chaos she tried to escape kept circling back, demanding resolution. And deep down, she feared the storm wasn't done with her yet. The next morning, Anna woke up with a sense of dread settling over her like a heavy fog. Every breath felt labored, as though the weight of her secrets was pressing down on her chest. She couldn't keep running from the truth, yet the thought of facing it head-on terrified her. At work, Fatima approached her cautiously, concern etched on her face. "You look like you haven't slept in days," she said gently. "Talk to me, please." Anna hesitated, clutching her coffee cup tightly. "I don't know where to start." "Yes, you do," Fatima countered firmly. "Start with the truth for once. Who are you protecting by staying silent?" Her words hit uncomfortably close to home, leaving Anna momentarily speechless. Finally she sighed, tears welling in her eyes. "Everyone. Michael, Tina, myself. But mostly, I'm scared of losing everything." Fatima reached across the table, placing a comforting hand over hers. "Sometimes holding on too tight is what causes things to break. Maybe letting go, even just a little, is the only way to save them." Letting go. The idea terrified Anna, but deep down she knew Fatima was right. Clinging to lies wasn't fixing anything. It was only making the fractures worse. Later that week, Michael confronted Anna again, his patience finally worn thin. One evening, as they sat together on the couch, he turned to her abruptly. "I can't keep doing this, Anna." Her heart sank, dread pooling in her stomach. "Doing what?" "Living like strangers under the same roof," he replied, his voice tinged with frustration. "Something's changed between us, and I don't know how to fix it unless you tell me what's wrong." Anna opened her mouth to respond, but the words caught in her throat. How could she explain the unexplainable? How could she put into words emotions that were still so unclear to her? Instead, she shook her head, pulling away. "I don't know how to fix it either." His expression hardened slightly, hurt mingling with anger. "Then maybe we need time apart to figure things out." Time apart. The words hit her like a blow to the stomach. Was this really happening? Had she pushed him so far away that he no longer wanted to fight for them? "Michael," she began, tears streaming down her face. "Please don't give up on us." "I'm not giving up," he replied softly, though his tone betrayed his uncertainty. "But I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it clearly isn't." As they went to bed that night, separate beds for the first time in years, Anna realized something painful. Her marriage was hanging by a thread, and she wasn't sure she had the strength to pull it back from the brink. Meanwhile, Tina's suspicions reached a boiling point during a girls' lunch outing. As the group laughed and chatted, Tina leaned closer to Anna, her usual cheerfulness replaced by uncharacteristic seriousness. "Okay," she began, lowering her voice. "We need to talk." Caught off guard, Anna hesitated, scrambling for an excuse. "About what?" "You and James," Tina replied bluntly, her eyes narrowing. "Don't play dumb. I've seen the way you two act around each other." Anna's pulse pounded in her ears, panic surging through her veins. "We're not acting any differently. You're imagining things." Tina didn't look convinced, leaning closer across the table. "If there's something going on, you'd tell me, right?" Anna nodded weakly, guilt twisting her insides. "Of course. As Tina walked away, Anna exhaled sharply, leaning against the wall for support. How much longer could she keep lying to everyone, including herself? That evening, James called unexpectedly, his tone unusually serious. "Can we meet? Just for a few minutes?" Her stomach churned, torn between longing and guilt. Meeting him even casually felt like playing with fire. Yet the thought of seeing him again sent a thrill through her chest she couldn't ignore. After agonizing for what felt like hours, she typed a reply. "Fine. Tomorrow." But nothing happens beyond talking. His response came almost instantly. "Agreed. Thank you." Relief and guilt flooded her system. Why did saying yes feel like both a lifeline and a noose? The next day, Anna met James at a secluded park bench, their surroundings eerily quiet except for the rustle of leaves in the wind. For a moment, they simply stared at each other, neither speaking. Finally, James broke the silence. "I miss you," he admitted softly, his voice trembling slightly. "Every day I miss you." Tears welled in Anna's eyes, guilt choking her throat. "We can't keep doing this. It's not fair to anyone." "I know," James replied, his expression pained. "But ignoring it isn't working either. It's like, no matter how hard I try, I can't stop feeling what I feel." She couldn't either, and that was the issue. As they parted ways, Anna realized something painful. Endings weren't always final. Sometimes they were beginnings in disguise. And while she still didn't have all the answers, she knew one thing for certain. She couldn't keep running from herself, or from the truth. The days following Anna's meeting with James felt surreal, as though she were living in two worlds simultaneously. One world was the life she'd built, her marriage to Michael, her friendship with Tina, the facade of normalcy she clung to desperately. The other was darker, messier, a tangled web of guilt, longing, and secrets that threatened to consume her whole. At work, Fatima cornered her during a rare quiet moment, her expression unusually somber. "You're running out of time," she said bluntly, lowering her voice. "Whatever you're hiding, it's not just affecting you anymore. It's spilling over." Anna froze, panic surging through her veins. "What do you mean?" Fatima sighed, glancing around to ensure they were alone. "I mean, people are noticing. Michael looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. And Tina keeps asking questions about why you've been off lately. You can't keep dodging them forever." Her words hit uncomfortably close to home, leaving Anna momentarily speechless. Finally she murmured, "I don't know what to do." "Yes, you do," Fatima countered firmly. "You either come clean or you walk away from whatever's tearing you apart. But sitting in limbo, that's not working." Walking away. The idea terrified Anna. How could she possibly untangle herself from the mess she'd created without destroying everything, and everyone she cared about? Later that evening, Michael approached her cautiously, his expression unreadable. "Can we talk?" he asked softly, sitting beside her on the couch. Anna braced herself, dread pooling in her stomach. "About what?" "Us," he replied simply. "Or rather, what's left of us." His words cut deeper than any accusation ever could. Left. The implications weighed heavily on her chest, making it hard to breathe. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. "I never meant for things to get this bad." Michael studied her closely, concern etched on his face. "Is there someone else?" The question hit her like a blow to the stomach, leaving her momentarily speechless. Someone else. Yes, there was, but not in the way he imagined. Still, she couldn't bring herself to answer, retreating instead into silence. "Anna," Michael pressed gently, his voice tinged with desperation. "Tell me, please." She shook her head, unable to form words. How could she explain that her heart had somehow expanded to include someone else, however unwillingly? That her love for him hadn't changed, but that her ability to give him her whole self had. Instead she whispered, "I'm sorry." Michael exhaled sharply, frustration mingling with hurt. Sorry isn't enough anymore. As they sat in silence, the weight of her secret pressing down on her chest, Anna realized something painful. Love wasn't always enough. Sometimes it was merely a lifeline keeping you afloat while the storm raged on. That evening, Tina called unexpectedly, her tone unusually serious. "Hey," she said softly. "You okay?" Anna hesitated, clutching the phone tightly. "I don't know. Do you want me to come over?" Tina asked gently. "We can talk, really talk." For a moment, Anna considered accepting the offer. Tina had always been her rock, her confidant. But this wasn't something she could unload onto someone else. Not entirely. This burden was hers alone to carry. "I'm fine," she lied, forcing a weak smile even though Tina couldn't see it. "Just need some time to think." Tina sighed but didn't press further. "All right. But remember, you're tougher than you believe." Her words lingered in Anna's mind as she hung up, resonating with a clarity she hadn't felt in weeks. Tougher. Maybe she was. Or maybe she just needed to believe she was. Finally, Anna picked up her phone and typed a message to James. "We can't keep doing this. It's not fair to anyone." His response came quickly. "I know. But I'll always care about you." Tears blurred her vision as she read the message, guilt choking her throat. The word echoed in her mind, sharp and unforgiving. How could she reconcile caring about him with protecting the people she loved? The next morning, Anna woke up determined to make a change, even if she wasn't sure what that change would look like yet. As she was lost in thoughts, Anna realized something painful. She couldn't outrun her choices any longer. The storm wasn't waiting, it was already here. The next morning, Anna woke up with a strange sense of resolve. The storm within her hadn't passed, but she felt ready to face it head-on. She couldn't keep running from the truth. About herself, about James, about the life she'd built with Michael and Tina. It was time to confront the mess she'd created, no matter how painful the fallout might be. At work, Fatima approached her cautiously, sensing the shift in Anna's demeanor. "You seem different," she observed, lowering her voice. "What happened?" Anna hesitated, clutching her coffee cup tightly. "I think I'm finally ready to stop hiding." Fatima raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. Ready to stop hiding, or ready to face the consequences? "Both," Anna admitted softly, her voice trembling slightly. "I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it isn't." Fatima sighed, placing a comforting hand on her arm. "It won't be easy. But you're one of the strongest person I know." Strong. The word echoed in Anna's mind, sharp and unforgiving. Was she strong enough to untangle the web she'd woven? Or would pulling one thread unravel everything? That evening, Anna sat alone at her kitchen table, staring at 3 blank sheets of paper. She had decided to write letters, one to Michael, one to Tina, and one to James. Each letter poured out her heart, confessing her feelings, her fears, her regrets. Writing them felt like peeling back layers of herself, exposing wounds she'd tried so hard to hide. To Michael, she wrote about love, how much she still cared for him, but how her guilt had driven a wedge between them. To Tina, she confessed her betrayal, knowing the friendship they'd shared might never recover. And to James, she admitted the depth of her conflicted feelings, acknowledging that their connection had been both a lifeline and a chain. She didn't send the letters, not yet. Instead, she tucked them away in a drawer, knowing they were a step toward reckoning with the truth. The next day, Anna met Tina for lunch, her hands trembling as she clutched her water glass. "There's something I need to say," Anna began haltingly, her voice barely above a whisper. Tina frowned, concern etched on her face. "What is it?" "I've made mistakes," Anna admitted, tears welling in her eyes. "Big ones. And I don't know how to fix them." Tina studied her closely, skepticism mingling with worry. "What kind of mistakes?" Anna hesitated, guilt choking her throat. "I can't explain, not yet. But I promise I'll tell you everything soon." Tina sighed, reaching across the table to squeeze Anna's hand. "Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together. Just don't shut me out." Her words brought fresh tears to Anna's eyes, gratitude warring with shame. If only Tina knew the truth. If only she understood how much Anna wished she could confide in her. But how could she admit to betraying her best friend's trust? Later that night, Anna stared at her phone, debating whether to text James. Finally, she typed a message. "We can't keep doing this. It's not fair to anyone." His response came quickly. "I know. But I'll always care about you." Tears blurred her vision as she read the message, guilt choking her throat. The word echoed in her mind, sharp and unforgiving. How could she reconcile caring about him with protecting the people she loved? The days following Anna's decision to write the letters felt like walking a tightrope suspended over an abyss. Each step forward was fraught with uncertainty, every breath tinged with the weight of what lay ahead. She knew she couldn't keep delaying the inevitable. Sooner or later the truth would come out, and when it did, nothing would ever be the same. Later that evening, Anna sat at her kitchen table, staring at the letters she'd written. They were tucked inside an old wooden box, their contents heavy with unspoken truths. She had considered burning them, erasing the evidence of her guilt, but something stopped her. Deep down, she knew these words were more than just confessions. They were a reckoning. The next morning, Anna woke up with a sense of resolve she hadn't felt in weeks. She decided to start with Michael. He deserved honesty, even if it meant losing him forever. As she sat across from him at the breakfast table, her hands trembled as she clutched her coffee mug. "Michael," she began softly, her voice trembling. "We need to talk." He looked up, his expression wary but attentive. "About what?" "Us," she replied simply. "And everything else." His eyes narrowed slightly, concern etched on his face. "What do you mean?" Anna took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she was about to say. "I've made mistakes, big ones. And I've been lying to you, to myself, for far too long." Michael frowned, clearly confused. "What are you talking about?" She hesitated, tears welling in her eyes. "There's someone else." The words hung in the air like a storm cloud, suffocating the room. Michael stared at her, shock mingling with hurt. "Who?" he asked finally, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's James," she admitted, choking back tears. "But it's not what you think. It's complicated." "Complicated?" Michael echoed, his tone laced with disbelief. "How complicated can it be, Anna? Either there's someone else, or there isn't." "I never meant for this to happen," she whispered, guilt choking her throat. "I love you, Michael. I always have. But somewhere along the way, I lost myself, and I don't know how to find my way back." Michael exhaled sharply, frustration mingling with pain. "So what now? Do we just end things?" "I don't know," Anna admitted miserably. "I just know I can't keep lying to you, or to myself." As they sat in silence, the weight of her confession pressing down on them both, Anna realized something painful. Honesty wasn't a cure-all. Sometimes it only deepened the wounds. That afternoon, Anna met Tina for coffee, her heart pounding with dread. "There's something I need to tell you," she began haltingly, her voice barely above a whisper. Tina frowned, concern etched on her face. "What is it?" "I've made mistakes," Anna admitted, tears streaming down her face. "Big ones. And I don't know how to fix them." Tina studied her closely, skepticism mingling with worry. "What kind of mistakes?" Anna hesitated, guilt choking her throat. "It's about James." Tina's eyes widened in shock, betrayal flickering across her face. "What about him?" "I'm so sorry," Anna whispered, unable to meet her gaze. "I never meant to hurt you." Tina leaned back, her expression unreadable. "How long has this been going on?" "It hasn't," Anna insisted quickly. "Not really. Just feelings. Confusing, impossible feelings." Tina sighed, shaking her head. "Feelings don't just appear out of nowhere, Anna. You've been lying to me, for how long?" "I don't know," Anna admitted miserably. "Months. Maybe longer." I didn't want to admit it to myself, let alone anyone else. Tina stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. I need some time to process this. As she walked away, Anna exhaled sharply, leaning against the wall for support. How much longer could she keep bearing the weight of her choices? That night, Anna picked up her phone and typed a final message to James. We can't keep doing this. It's over. His response came quickly. Are you sure? Yes, she replied, tears blurring her vision. I have to let go. As she put the phone aside, Anna understood something heartbreaking. Endings didn't always mean closure. Often they were new starts cloaked in disguise. Despite her lingering questions, she knew this much. Running from herself and the truth was no longer an option. The days following Anna's confessions felt like living in the eye of a hurricane, deceptively calm, yet with chaos lurking just beyond the horizon. She had laid her cards on the table, exposed her secrets, and now she was left to face the fallout. But instead of relief, she felt only emptiness, a hollow ache that no amount of honesty could fill. Michael had retreated into silence, his usual warmth replaced by an icy distance. They hadn't spoken since their conversation at the breakfast table, and the quiet between them was suffocating. Every glance, every shared space, felt heavy with unspoken words and unresolved pain. Anna wanted to reach out, to explain herself further, but what more could she say? She had already torn open the wound. Now all that remained was to let it heal or fester. Tina, on the other hand, had gone radio silent. After walking away from their coffee meeting, she hadn't returned Anna's calls or texts. The silence was deafening, each unanswered message a reminder of the trust Anna had shattered. For the first time in years, Anna found herself longing for Tina's fiery confrontations, her sharp wit, her unshakable loyalty, even her anger. Anything was better than this void. Fatima, however, refused to let Anna spiral in isolation. You've done the hard part, she said firmly during one of their lunch breaks. Now you have to give people time to process. Anna sighed, picking at her salad listlessly. What if they can't forgive me? Then you deal with that when it happens, Fatima replied pragmatically. But until then, don't assume the worst. People are resilient, including you. Her words offered little comfort, though Anna appreciated the sentiment. Resilience. Was she resilient enough to withstand losing the two most important people in her life? Or would the weight of her choices crush her entirely? That evening, Anna found herself scrolling through old photos on her phone, memories of happier times. There she was with Michael, laughing on a beach during their honeymoon. There she was with Tina, posing goofily in matching sunglasses. And there, tucked away in a hidden folder, was a photo of her and James, cropped to exclude Tina. She stared at the image, her chest tightening with longing and regret. Why did everything have to be so complicated? Why couldn't she simply go back to how things used to be? Her phone buzzed suddenly, startling her out of her thoughts. It was a text from James. Are you okay? Her stomach churned, guilt surging through her veins. She stared at the message for a long moment before typing a reply. I'm fine. His response came quickly. You don't sound fine. Anna hesitated, her fingers hovering over the screen. What could she say? That she missed him. That she regretted ending things. But not enough to justify going back. Instead she typed, I'll survive. As she set the phone down, she realized something painful. Survival wasn't the same as thriving. And while she had made the choice to cut ties with James, the void he left behind was harder to ignore than she'd anticipated. The next morning, Anna woke up determined to take control of her life, or at least try. She started by clearing out her closet, donating clothes she no longer wore and organizing the rest into neat piles. Cleaning had always been her therapy, a way to channel anxiety into something productive. By the time she finished, her apartment was spotless, but her mind remained all over the place. Later that day, Michael approached her cautiously, his expression unreadable. Can we talk? He asked softly, sitting beside her on the couch. Anna braced herself, dread pooling in her stomach. About what? Us, he replied simply. Or rather, what happens next? His words hit her like a high-speed train at full speed. Happens next. Did that mean he was ready to move forward? Or ready to let go? I don't know, she admitted softly, tears welling in her eyes. I want to fix things, Michael. But I don't know if I can. He studied her closely, concern etched on his face. Do you still love me? Yes, she whispered without hesitation. But love isn't enough, not when it's broken. Michael exhaled sharply, frustration mingling with hurt. So what do we do? I don't know, Anna admitted miserably. Maybe we need time apart. To figure things out. Time apart. The words hung in the air like a storm cloud, suffocating the room. Michael nodded slowly, though his expression betrayed his uncertainty. All right. But promise me one thing. What? She asked, her voice trembling. That we'll both try to heal, to grow, to find our way back to each other. If that's still possible. Anna nodded, tears streaming down her face. I promise. As they parted ways later that evening, Anna realized something painful. Endings weren't always the end. Sometimes they were just the start of something else, cleverly masked. Even without all the answers, one certainty remained. She had to stop fleeing from who she was and what she'd done. The days following Anna's decision to take time apart from Michael felt like walking through a fog, each step uncertain, each breath heavy with the weight of uncertainty. She had made her choice, or rather, she had accepted the inevitable unraveling of her life as she knew it. But acceptance didn't bring peace. Instead, it left her hollow, adrift in a sea of guilt and regret. At work, Fatima remained a steady presence, her unwavering support a lifeline Anna clung to desperately. You're doing the right thing, Fatima assured her during one of their lunch breaks. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Anna sighed, picking at her sandwich listlessly. I don't know what right is anymore. All I know is that I've hurt everyone I care about, including myself. Fatima placed a comforting hand on her arm. Healing isn't linear, Anna. You're going to have good days and bad days, and that's okay. Just keep moving forward one step at a time. Her words offered little comfort, though Anna appreciated the sentiment. Moving forward. It sounded simple enough, but how could she when every step felt like wading through quicksand? That evening, Anna sat alone in her apartment, staring at the wooden box containing the letters she'd written. She hadn't sent them, not yet. Part of her wondered if she ever would. Were they meant to be read, or were they simply a way for her to confront her own truths? She didn't have the answers, but for now, their presence was enough. The next morning, Anna received an unexpected text from Tina. Can we meet? Her stomach dropped, panic surging through her veins. Had Tina finally processed everything? Was this the confrontation she'd been dreading, or the beginning of reconciliation? They met at a quiet cafe, the air between them thick with unspoken tension. For a moment, neither spoke, the silence stretching endlessly until Tina finally broke it. I've been thinking a lot about what you said. Anna hesitated, bracing herself for anger, or worse, indifference. And I don't know how to feel, Tina admitted softly, her voice trembling slightly. Betrayed, hurt, angry, all of the above. I'm so sorry, Anna whispered, tears welling in her eyes. I never meant to hurt you. Tina sighed, shaking her head. I know. But knowing doesn't make it hurt any less. Anna nodded, guilt choking her throat. I understand if you can't forgive me. I don't know if I can, Tina replied honestly. But I also don't want to lose you, not completely. So, maybe we start over. Slowly. Start over. The idea filled Anna with both hope and dread. Could they rebuild what she had broken? Or was this fragile truce merely a band-aid over a wound that would never fully heal? I'd like that, Anna admitted softly, gratitude mingling with shame. Thank you. Tina nodded, offering a weak smile. We'll figure it out. Together. As they parted ways later that afternoon, Anna exhaled sharply, leaning against the wall for support. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start. That evening, Anna picked up her phone and typed a final message to James. "Thank you for everything. But this is goodbye." His response came quickly. "Goodbye, Anna. Take care of yourself." As she set the phone down, Anna realized something painful. Endings didn't always mean closure. Often they were new starts cloaked in disguise. Despite her lingering questions, she knew this much. Running from herself and the truth was no longer an option. The weeks that followed were a blur of small victories and quiet moments. Anna threw herself into her work, using it as a distraction from the chaos within. She reconnected with old friends, rediscovered hobbies she had long neglected, and slowly began to piece together fragments of the person she used to be. One evening, as she sat on her balcony watching the sunset, Anna realized something profound. Healing wasn't about erasing the past, it was about learning to live with it. The scars would always remain, but they no longer defined her. She was more than her mistakes, more than her guilt, more than the choices that had led her here. For the first time in months, Anna allowed herself to hope. Not for redemption, not for forgiveness, but for a future where she could find peace. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. Watch more ancient and modern African tales on our channel. Please subscribe and like to help the channel.